Yeah. Your purpose is divine, and people like to propose to you what your purpose may be, but the truth is they'll never know. Only you can discover your purpose for yourself. Now, gaining clarity on that can seem like the hardest thing about your purpose. Fulfilling your purpose seems like it would be effortless, right? Because it's your purpose. So, it doesn't require your concentration or your effort really. So it just comes naturally. So nobody can discover this thing for you, these things for you. Step one in discovering your purpose and being able to fulfill your purpose, because you do have one intrinsically, is to become clear with yourself, create clarity. And that may come in the form of unblocking yourself or unlearning certain things. So clearing yourself of doubt, self pity, or just this systemic thinking. Clearing yourself of these limitations that have been imposed on you by external forces, people, institutions, etc. So your best option in discovering your purpose is to clear yourself out. And these things written on the wall, it says, I am not the body, I'm not even the mind. So when you clear yourself of thinking you are those two things, you create separation from those two faculties, from those two technologies, and you can become the awareness of those two things, and therefore gain an extra level of clarity. Rewild yourself, connect with nature, connect with your inner nature. Don't just block it out, just because it can sometimes feel challenging to sit through more harsh emotions, etc. And the last thing, I truly believe that what I set out to do within my heart is fully achievable. You really need to believe in yourself. And when I say believe in yourself, belief is weak in comparison to knowing yourself. So know thyself, and everything will be alright, and your purpose will present itself very clearly to you in good time. And then you can begin in manifesting it, creating it. And that's where life gets interesting. You start to put back. Because after a while, I believe, and I can see it in our society, and it comes very close to home sometimes, is when you become a consumer instead of a creator, you start to become miserable. You start to require pleasure rather than naturally be joyful and exuberant. You start to require pleasure, whether it's in the form of food, constantly eating, constantly sugaring and snacking, or drinking, boozing, smoking, watching, entertaining, all these things that stop you from feeling the more raw elements of life. You need to feel those elements for you to gain clarity, like we just said before. So it's up to you whether you're tired of the mundane sort of rigmarole of day-to-day life that is serving no one other than yourself, really. And there's a lot of people out there that could do with your help, that could do with your assistance, could do with your sacrifice, could do with your aid, and you will be rewarded far greater things than any money could ever buy you, could ever bring you. People's love for your sacrifice and your commitment and your honesty and your authenticity and your joyfulness, that is currency. That is what really matters in this world. That is joyful. That is bliss. So after all of that said, where are we going to go now? Are you going to go back to scrolling, or are you going to go and get on the mat and remember who you are? And it comes in many forms. There's so many instructions out there. There's instructions out there of how not to act, and definitely how to act. And when I say act, there's an enactment having to be made as a human. Talking, waking up in the morning, having to enact the day and stuff. Our meditative state is just sat still, eyes closed, blissful, peaceful, letting tears of joy roll down our cheeks. So you do have a purpose. It's there waiting for you to realize it.
What is untruth?
Truth, what is untruth?
In the words that you speak.
It is not in the words that you speak.
It is in the way you hold.
It is in the way you hold the life within.
It is in the way you are.
It is in the way you are.
Whether you are a crawling worm.
Whether you are a crawling worm or a big human being, when sun
comes
comes up in the morning, it lights up everybody.
Whoever opens his eyes.
Whoever opens his eyes to see, there is life to see.
Nature of life.
That is the nature of life.
This is the truth.
This is the truth.
If you sit here like that,
If you sit here like that,
all inclusive,
you'll see life is all inclusive,
in touch with truth.
and then you are in touch with truth.
In touch with truth.
If you're in touch with truth, there is no suffering.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. Namaskaram. Peace and love.